From a strange case of human feet washing up on shore to the famous case of Jack the Ripper that is still yet to be solved, we take a look at 10 of the most shocking cold cases. Number 10. The Black Dahlia. It's Hollywood's most famous murder case. A gruesome, sensationalist story that spawned books, TV series, and films. On January 15, 1947, 22-year-old aspiring actress Elizabeth Short was found dead in Los Angeles, her body cut in half and severely mutilated. In a lurid Tinseltown twist, the murderer cut gashes into the corners of Short's mouth, creating a ghoulish smile. Her corpse was also drained of blood. No charges were ever filed. Number 9. The Lady of the Dunes. The Lady of the Dunes is one of the oldest cold cases in Massachusetts. On July 26, 1974, a 13-year-old girl walking her dog on Race Point Beach in Providencetown discovered a woman in the sand dunes. The victim's hands were amputated, and small piles of pine needles set on the sand in place of her hands. The body was serenely positioned in the sand, and there was no sign of a struggle. The woman was lying face down on a green beach towel, her Wrangler jeans and bandana folded into a makeshift pillow. The Lady of the Dunes has never been identified, and her killer remains a mystery. Number 8. The Zodiac Killer. The self-proclaimed Zodiac Killer murdered 5 people in California's Bay Area between the late 1960s and early 1970s. The killings were random, but generally targeted couples. The first murders were a pair of high school students parked on Lover's Lane. The Zodiac Killer toyed with Bay Area law enforcement, sending local newspapers a series of taunting, cryptic letters. The Zodiac, however, was never caught. Number 7. America's Unknown Child. In February 1957, the body of a boy between ages 4 and 6 was discovered in a cardboard box in a wooded area of Philadelphia. Despite several clues, a plaid blanket, a cap found nearby, the case went cold. Discovering the identity of the boy and his killer became a lifelong obsession for Philadelphia detectives Bill Kelly and Sam Weinstein. While theories have emerged over the years, some say the boy belonged to the stepdaughter of a man who ran a nearby foster home. The case remains cold. Number 6. The Hall Mills Case. The story unfolded in New Jersey in 1922. The bodies of a man and woman were posed side by side next to a crabapple tree. Both victims had been shot. Episcopal priest Edward Hall was having an affair with Eleanor Mills, a member of his church choir. The priest's wife and 2 brothers were the main suspects in the double murder, but they were acquitted in a 1926 trial. Still, there are many theories about the identity of the killer. Some say the Ku Klux Klan was involved, while others suggest the killers were local teenagers. Number 5. The Case of Missing Feet. Why are disembodied feet washing ashore in British Columbia? According to Time, since August 2007, 15 human feet have washed ashore near Vancouver. No bodies, just feet, and most of them still clad in sneakers. DNA tests matched one of the feet to a man who'd been missing, but there are several theories as to how the other feet ended up on shore. Boating and plane accidents, victims of murder, suicide victims, and victims of the 2004 Asian tsunami. While there's no evidence the feet were cut off, most investigators believe it's the work of a serial killer. Number 4. JonBenet Ramsey. On December 26, 1996, John Ramsey found his 6-year-old daughter JonBenet dead in the basement of their Colorado home. With more plot twists and red herrings than an Agatha Christie novel, the death of the young beauty pageant queen is one of the nation's most notorious unsolved crimes. John Ramsey, his wife Patsy, and their 9-year-old son Burke were the main suspects in her murder, but none of them were ever charged. While DNA later pointed to an unexplained third party, the court of public opinion had already stained the family. Number 3. Chicago Tylenol poisonings. In the fall of 1982, 7 people in the Chicago area died from taking Tylenol pills laced with cyanide. The police concluded that someone was tampering with the drug on store shelves. At the time, Psychologists called the killer so strange that their normal profiling guidelines just don't work. According to Time, police cruisers rolling through Chicago streets blared warnings over loudspeakers. The tampering inspired copycat incidents, pills tainted with rat poisoning, pins and needles in candy bars, etc. The police never arrested anyone for the 7 murders. Number 2. The Alphabet Murders. The Alphabet Murders took place around Rochester, New York in the early 1970s, perplexing law enforcement officials with a series of strange but methodical common denominators. The victims, 3 girls, were eerily similar. Carmen Colon, Michelle Mienza, and Wanda Walkowitz all came from single-parent households, were Roman Catholic, and had learning disabilities. The cold case is called the Alphabet Murders because the bodies of each of the girls were found in a town with the same initial as their first and last names. Number 1. Jack the Ripper. In 1888 Whitechapel, London, between August 7th and November 10th, 5 prostitutes were found dead. The reign of terror in London's East End only lasted 12 months, but the identity of Jack the Ripper has been the subject of hundreds of movies, books, and articles. The newspapers of the day gave a sensational amount of coverage to the crimes, turning the Whitechapel murderer into a menacing media figure and international phenomenon. Since 1888, more than 100 suspects have been named. If you like this video, why not hit that like button? And remember to hit the subscribe button for more videos every 2 days.